We're rolling.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're rolling. I want to hear. I want to hear this bit.
This is nothing.
This
is like
you've been saying that it's nothing. But then you said to me that the reason you might not want to share this bit is because it was, quote, racist to Norwegian people.
Well, yeah.
And I have to know what that means.
I've been watching this show Ragnarok on Netflix.
Okay.
Ultimately, like, it's a pretty straightforward sort of like Netflix urban fantasy type thing.
Okay.
Where it's like there's like a high school kid and he gets magic powers, and there's other people with magic powers.
Oh shit!
There's like a rich family that's evil. Like,
okay.
It's pretty generic, but like it's
are they like modern day Viking?
Yeah,
Norse
it's like Norse
mystics?
gods. Like, this kid gets like reincarnated as like Thor, and he has to like.
So it's white Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of white Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit.
Okay.
But it's like it's Norwegian. It's like I'm watching it like dubbed in English.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then okay.
And like and the main this is nothing. I don't even know how to present this in a way that it's funny.
Okay.
But like,
well, we don't have to keep this.
We don't have to keep.
We're just rolling because we're
Right.
getting started here.
But okay, so like the main character of the show is like he's like perfectly equidistant between like handsome and weird looking. Which I think they cast him for because he's like supposed to be like this kind of like big nerd, but then he gets Thor powers and then he's like jacked and hot.
So like he's got like whatever's going on with
he's like
fucking Mads Mikkelsen.
Kind of, yeah. He's like tall and like he's like tall and kind of like muscular,
that
but like
Skarsgård guy.
But his like lips are like weirdly big and like his eyes are like a little far apart.
Okay.
And they kind of Noah Schlatt him up in the first episode. They give him like this terrible like straight across the center of the forehead haircut where it's just like a straight line. Like,
wait, they what it up?
The Noah Schlatt it up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
They make him look like utter fucking shit so that they can like to like as like a character choice. Like,
okay.
But like I don't know, like the first shot in the show is just like a picture of like him in a car as they're like going down like a rainy highway.
Yeah.
And like I didn't know about the character, like I hadn't been introduced to any other characters yet, so I just alone in my apartment as I'm watching him, just like, yeah, this I the hottest boy in all of Norway. Just like saying this to me, like I'm the hottest one. I'm the best we have. Which isn't even funny because like 5 minutes later a different character shows up who actually like is a hot guy. But I've just been like describing the whole show in that voice, and it's just been a fun little thing for me.
Just alone in your apartment.
And just being like, you know, there's a girl with like blue hair who's like really into the environment, and she like dies in the first episode.
Okay.
And I've just been like she keeps like showing up in dreams, and every time she does it, like, it's me, the blue-haired dead girl. You thought I was going to be a character, but instead I am motivation. Just like. And this has been my day. Like, it's just kind of like
this has been your day.
Just like, yeah, I watched like a season and a half of this shit yesterday.
Okay.
Just like for some reason. I don't know why. It's not that good.
I was picturing you doing this in the dead of night.
No, it's like in the harsh light of morning. Like
so your landlady isn't even asleep.
No, she's downstairs.
Overhearing
like,
you going, the hottest boy in the Norway.
Yeah.
That's great. I wonder what
middle of the day.
That tech genius upstairs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's pretty much. I don't really have anything else to say about Ragnarok. It's pretty generic. But I think their voices sound funny, and that's the premise of this bit.
Have you been watching anything else?
Have I been watching anything else? I don't know. Why?
I don't know.
Do you think it would be good conversation?
Yeah, I was saying earlier before we started recording that I wanted to explore some new energies and, new niche roles, or not niche, new nooks and crannies within the structure of this podcast, wherein I could more effectively kind of slide in. And I want to find my groove. And so part of me is thinking manic sidekick energy.
Right.
I want to goad you. I want to pull your worst instincts out of you. I want to see what kind of mania I can help induce in you for the sake of comedy, I
understand. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if I could be the bad influence, the devil on your shoulder, the evil sidekick.
You know, if you could just kind of like help me milk my mental illness for content.
Exactly.
That's kind of what we're going for.
Yes, exactly.
Right. You just kind of like, you know, poke and prod.
So I just want to like kind of like, you know, I want to, once you start talking, from there I can find more things to extract from you.
Right.
I want to kind of be like a reverse therapist.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about like this was one of my original ideas for a podcast was Chris Dunne won't go to therapy.
And I'm still interested in doing that.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that today?
You want to
Do you want to just like have today be a fucking a sleeper pilot for Chris Dunne won't go to therapy?
I'm down for it, man.
Okay.
I'm down for it, you know? Are we still gonna do questions about the apocalypse, or
I don't know. Let's feel it out. Let's see how far this premise gets us.
okay?
And then if it doesn't work out, we can fall back on our old ways.
So do I do the intro? Do we do the intro? Or do we?
And then right here it'll cut in, and it'll be a fun little moment.
Okay.
Just kidding. Right here it'll cut in.
You're saying
so it's
that,
like a fun little meta joke.
You're saying the cold open, the theme
right,
song.
exactly. The cold open will happen.
Okay, so has it happened yet, or is it happening?
I don't know. It might have already happened. You know, we don't know.
Button.
There's
punchline.
all kinds of funny places where you could put it at this point.
Wouldn't it be funny if you put it in like the middle of a word that I'm saying?
That's probably what I'm gonna do.
Take it down, look at therapy. The wheels trying to find the cure. It's the time of your life, one chance to get it right. To get his feet back on the ground.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's probably. In fact, in the middle of that do just now is probably where it was.
Okay, but I wasn't asking about the cold open. I was
Okay.
asking about the intro,
Right.
where we explain the podcast and the premise, and we say we introduce ourselves and all that.
I guess. I don't know. This is Life in the World to Come.
Welcome everybody to Life in the World
Welcome
to
everybody
Come.
to Life in the World to Come. I'm Chris Dunne.
I'm a good girl, Mr. Bubbles.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like the look in your eyes right now is just like, is this good? Like, is this
Just don't focus on it. Move past it.
Okay.
We're running out of tape here.
All right, and normally we're here to answer your questions about the apocalypse.
But today, Chris is here to answer my questions about how he's doing.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna fix me today.
that's kind of the goal.
This is the
today.
thing is, I think that's the idea of this pilot is that like
Yes.
if we just like get through this episode and I'm cured by the end of it, then we just keep doing Life in the World to Come.
Okay.
You know, but if there's like if by the end of this we sense that there's more work to be done, then maybe we consider Chris Dunne won't go to therapy.
Okay. So, well, I need to understand the parameters of this
Okay.
this sleeper pilot.
Right.
You know, I know that there's a part of you that wants to kind of take a page from Dan Harmon's book.
Yeah.
But at least according to the film Harmontown, Dan Harmon is willing to ruin his life and relationships for podcast material.
Well, I might be.
All right,
You
so
know,
that's what I'm trying to
I'll
figure out.
let you know when I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, so do you want me to push your boundaries?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I kind of want to. I think this could be good.
This
yeah.
is so not my comfort zone.
I know, me neither.
We'll be-
but,
we'll
like,
be
I think
pushing
I'm
my
kind of-
boundary.
I'm a little excited.
Listen, before we get into this,
Yeah.
I need you to look me in the eye and promise me that we'll still be friends no matter what happens
yeah,
after
yeah,
this.
yeah. Okay. All right. I'll promise. You're like looking at me so expectantly.
I need
you
to
needed
know.
verbal confirmation.
I need verbal confirmation. Basically, what I'm saying is first we need to acknowledge. All right, the scene is beginning, and then I'm probably going to need a safe word and some aftercare.
I can already feel you getting into it because like you're getting into like therapist mode because like I'm sitting on the floor and Will just lowered his seat as far as could possibly go in a way that felt very like oh, I'm on your level now. You can feel comfortable with me.
Really, really, I just wish you would stand,
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
or wish we had a chair for you.
I'm a big guy.
Oh,
you
we
know?
have a chair.
We
You
have
want
a chair
You want me
for
to
me.
take that seat and you can take this one? Oh no, this is a real therapist.
Yeah, no,
seat, and I'm
you
sitting
look like
behind
a
desk
therapist here.
and-
Yeah, no, it feels right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not moving.
If we got
what
that
the
little
fuck just happened?
oh no.
What? No, it's just my screen.
Oh, is your screen just turned off? Okay, that's
Yeah, I think so. 99%
good.
anyway.
Let's hope so.
All right, so okay, I thought that was my keyboard making that noise. So okay, so the Come on, Pro Tools. Shut the fuck up. All right, dude. All right, sorry. All right, so see, encouraging someone else to leave their comfort zone is outside of my comfort zone.
Right.
I'm a nervous, neurotic boy, and I don't like the idea of poking and prodding. You know, and I myself am kind of. You know what? Let's fuck it. All right.
Okay.
Today we're gonna focus on Chris's internal life.
All right.
Today we're gonna talk about what Chris has on his mind.
I need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you need help with the most?
It's probably, I mean, it feels boring, but it's probably just a matter of like motivation.
Yeah.
Is that like, I feel like the stem of a lot of my issues is my honestly superpower like ability to just kind of cut everything out of my like range of perception, except for like the Norwegian Netflix show that I'm watching.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right. You're really zeroed in on it.
Right. Exactly. Like, and I can still like the anxiety's still there, but like, you know, I get into these like grooves where the idea of doing anything other than anything but what I'm supposed to do feels like the only option.
Right. So doing the things that you're obligated to do become the number one thing you don't want to do.
It's not even that I don't want to do them. It's just like it feels like I don't even have the option to do them.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's just like this it's this weird thing where it's like, you know, if I have to like, I don't know, like edit the podcast or like do work or something, it feels like I just like I physically can't do that until I've spent like 5 or 6 hours doing just kind of just honestly just like disappearing into YouTube reels.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What is it that like what do you think is like drawing you? Is there something drawing you away from it, or is there nothing drawing you toward it?
That could be it too.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything for you in YouTube Reels?
Oh God, no.
No, right?
Absolutely not. Unless every day.
Yeah.
Like it's in fact, honestly, like going through anytime I stop watching YouTube Reels, it's not me being like, okay, and now it's time to do something. No, it's like I go, yeah, and like slam my laptop closed. Like I'm fucking like I stuck my hand into some kind of like Lovecraftian horror's maw, and it's like tendrils are wrapped around my fist.
Right.
I have to like rip it out, like blood and guts, like flying all over the place as I extricate myself from this beast.
Right.
That's like every time I stop watching YouTube Reels, it's like that.
I feel like what you're just describing is like, yeah, that's how I feel about Instagram Reels. If I
no,
wake up in the morning and I roll over and just go on my phone, there's no just getting out of the car. You duck and roll on the highway.
You can't just stop.
This is a stalling jet, and the only option is the eject button. And so it's like with a violent thrust is the only way you're getting out.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you find that there's like something that like ever triggers you to get out of it? Like, is there?
No, it's just like it's just like a like the pressure just has to build up.
Yeah,
it's just have to be like 3 or 4 YouTube Reels of just like a kid screaming over unrelated Roblox content. Or just like, or even like, just like a YouTube reel that's just like of like a 11-year-old doing a little dance. And there's like the video has 11 views and 1 like, and the YouTube algorithm was like, oh, you got to see this. Like it's like I don't know why. Like YouTube, it's like
Google's like, dude, you gotta check this out.
Chris Dunne has to see this 11-year-old do a fucking dance to like a fucking Cardi B song.
Chris, you gotta look at this. You gotta look at this kid.
See this shit.
You gotta see this child, and also this Subway Surfers clip playing underneath it.
Yeah,
this is for you.
It really feels like, and it has to be like enough of that where I just like I'm getting like progressively more and more frustrated and just angry at the world, and like just like weird and irrational.
Right.
Really, I have to have like in order to like get out of that like weird psychotic loop, I have to like enter into a different weird psychotic loop.
Okay.
I have to become, in order to like stop watching YouTube reels, I have to become a different kind of crazy.
Okay.
Where like I turn into, I age 10 years and I'm just like, you know what, I thought about this the other day. I watch YouTube reels like Travis Bickle driving through 1970s New York City. Where I'm just like, it's like this city used to be something. Just like,
right. It's a tour of disgust.
right.
You're perusing the human experience from the outside looking in.
Yeah, and it's all bad.
Yeah.
It's like I can't imagine that like anyone's life. I mean, like I'm sure we've talked about this, but I can't imagine anyone's life is like anything that is on that.
I can't imagine so either.
Just I don't know what's. I just like I feel I watch enough YouTube reels and I just feel like, just like alienated,
Right.
and like strange.
Do you feel like
and,
you're
like-
missing out on something?
You know, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But also like I don't want to do the thing that I'm missing out on.
Right.
So it's like worse than that, where it's like not only are you missing out on like it's this weird thing where it's like, oh, look at all this stuff you're missing out on, and it's like I don't even like want to do that stuff,
Right.
but like I'm still being made to feel guilty for not doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. That's how I feel about like any social event. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
why the fuck didn't you invite me, man? I mean, I know I wasn't going to go, but like,
Right.
I'm hurt that you didn't invite
but
me.
I wanted like the brief endorphin rush of being invited.
Right. I feel like I'm being left out of an important thing that I have little interest in really actually participating in, but I don't feel like a full person
Right.
since I'm on the outside looking in. You know, like I want to hang out with my friends. I want to see them. But like I'm scared of the outside world. So like do you feel like the thing that stops you from participating in these things that you're partly feeling like you're missing out on? Like, do you think it's that you don't want to do it, or do you think that you or is there, I mean, like, frankly, is there sour grapes?
There's a little bit of sour grapes.
Yeah.
It's I think part of it is turning like 30 and like and not relating to like what is cool. I mean, like I never really did, but like
Right.
even more than normal.
Mm.
Like I saw like I kept getting suggested clips from this. What I'm assuming is like one YouTube video, but I keep seeing reels of it, of like it's of some BuzzFeed-esque thing being like, these 3 middle schoolers are gonna like rate our staff and tell them whether or not they're cool. And like I was watching it and just getting so mad and like just having like bad intrusive thoughts about these children, about like what I would. It's like I could not have the job that these people have where they go out and be judged by these children, because I would come back at them with the same energy. Like I would be like there's this one kid who was like he was fucking hype beasted out. Like he was like wearing like this matching sweatshirt and sweatpants that were like white with like these like splashes of red on it.
Uh-huh.
I was like, fucking kid, you look like a clown puked on you. Like you're wearing sunglasses and like you look like fucking enjoy fentanyl, dude, because it's in your future. Like you just like.
And you would have felt like you would have.
I would have said that to him.
Yeah.
Like I would have told that kid that fentanyl was in his future, and that's when it's time to stop watching YouTube reels. Like,
right, you know you're done with YouTube reels when you start wishing an early death upon a minor.
he's like, I'm just like imagining myself standing in front of those kids, and they all hold up like the red sign that means not cool, and just being like, fucking good. Like, I would be upset if you people thought I was cool, you fucking unfinished half-brained losers. You fucking. You try being 30, bitch. Like, you think you're going to be cool? You think any of the stuff you like is going to be relevant? It's not.
Right.
Anyway, I just got worked up again there.
You don't want to. I feel like we've said this before, but you don't want to be cool when you reach a certain age.
Right.
Being in touch is fucked up. I mean, like, do you think there's anything that can be done about it?
I don't know. That's the weird thing is that like I like it's truly hard to say. I think like it's all Mark Zuckerberg's fault. Let's just get that out of the way.
Okay.
It's all on him.
Yeah.
You know, he was the one who basically turned the internet into he made it into this like weird, inherently deceptive thing.
Right.
That's I think that's what like makes me nervous about it. Is like this piece of content sucks because I'm about to tell a third-hand story about Mr. Beast.
Okay.
But like I watched like this YouTube clip of like these kids who had this like interaction with Mr. Beast, and they were like having this conversation with him about like video thumbnails, and like Mr. Beast being like, yeah, no, if you do your thumbnails like this, like I can guarantee you will get like an extra 100,000 views on all your videos. Like, why wouldn't you do it? And they're like, oh yeah, it's not really like, we're just like, that's not kind of our vibe. And he's like, well, why would you leave that money on the table? It's like why would you want your video to be less successful? And I think that's the underlying issue, is that like the success is measured in that little number in like the bottom left corner of the video, where it's like that is the metric of like whether or not a YouTube video is good, is how many people saw it. Like there is no thought put into like, we traded gatekeepers for a math problem, and like. Right. As bad as the gatekeepers were, at least they were people. Well, like at least they were like people with taste, and like that taste might have been bad, but it was taste.
I think a lot of the taste.
Like that's my issue with like YouTube Reels, especially, is that like if you're a YouTuber and you are primarily successful via YouTube Reels, you have nothing to be proud of.
Right.
Truly nothing.
Right.
Because if like the majority of your traffic is coming in through YouTube Reels, no one has ever chosen to watch your videos. Not once. No one makes the decision to watch your shit. It is put in front of them,
right.
And they tolerate it long enough for it to count as a view. Like that is what, and it's like it's like the whole system is like built around like it's like it has, it's not that it's like built to suppress art, but like the creating like cool good shit has like nothing to do with it. It's like it's about like, and that's the thing, is like every YouTube reel I see, even the best of them, are just like pieces of shit that are trying to game a system. Right. You know, no one's making YouTube reels because they're like, oh, this is great and I love doing this and it's funny. It's like or they do that once and they get like 1 million views, and then they do a different thing and it gets 8 views. So they just like recycle the same joke in like 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times with minimal changes. And it's just like this city makes me sick. Like these fucking like
places burning down all around you.
These the fucking junkies and hookers and the fucking just
filth in the streets.
Fucking filth.
The gutters are overrun, man.
Yeah, man.
No, every
and I'm just
alleyway
driving around in my taxi cab, just seething.
Yeah,
writing weird little journal entries, doing fucking pull-ups and a wife beater. Just like
go home at the end of the day, polish your gun, talk to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, just like shaving my head, thinking about killing politicians. Just like I'm just like, yeah, it's literally like we're just like looking around at the world. It's like, I think I have to like shoot someone who's in power. I don't know what else to do other than murder someone who can like do something.
It's really got you that mad, huh?
Not really, but
no.
Like, for the podcast, sure. Like, take that feeling and like tone it down to like not actually violent. But,
I wasn't saying that to like doubt the validity of your anger.
Right.
I was doing that to try and explore it.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is I want to goad you. I want to egg you on. I want to try and pull out more of this intense energy that you've been putting out.
I just walked back wanting to kill a politician, and you're like, no. Like, no, explore that.
No, what I'm trying to say is like, well, look, what I'm trying to say is that in order to get to the heart of your anger and really get to the heart of what makes you feel alienated from the world, and therefore potentially what makes you feel alienated from your own work,
right,
we have to get through the anger.
Okay.
I think the first step is passing through the threshold of rage.
Okay.
That I think stands between you and being able to connect frankly, with yourself, right?
Interesting.
You know?
Okay.
So, you know, because we mentioned sour grapes earlier.
Right.
We mentioned you feeling left out, but simultaneously resenting the thing that you're left out from.
Yeah.
And I would say that it sounds to me like there's a certain part of it sounds to me like there's a certain part of what you're feeling right now that could be inspired by that experience and could also be and therefore your lack of motivation may have something to do with that.
Interesting.
Do you think your basically what I'm trying to say is, do you think your lack of motivation to work on the things that involve you creatively comes from a lack of attachment to what creativity is in this day and age?
Interesting. No, but that is interesting. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I think there's something there. I mean, like, honestly, if I were to like actually really like dig down to like what keeps me from getting motivated,
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly what it is that like anytime I have to do a thing that will help me fix my life,
Mm-hmm.
it is added to a scroll of things that would help fix my life that is 1,000,000 miles long.
Scroll's too long.
It's a ridiculous scroll. It's a comedy scroll. You know what I mean? You unfurl it and it's just like going over hills in the distance.
Right.
There are so many things I could, and that's the thing, is that like there are so many things I could do to make my life better that doing any one of them feels ridiculous.
Right.
Like it feels honestly stupid, like as much of a waste of time as not doing it, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, I mean, like, but each individual item on that scroll, I mean, like, do you have to finish the whole scroll in order for it to be a worthwhile pursuit?
I mean, not really, but it's like, okay, let's say I have to edit the podcast, where it's like, okay, I have to edit the podcast. Oh, but like I can't. But really, before I edit the podcast, I should clean my kitchen. But I really don't want to clean my kitchen, so I'm gonna play Red Dead Redemption for like 8.5 hours. It's that's what it is. I think. Where it's like there's all this like shit that I like. There's like stuff that I have to do that I would like to do, but there's stuff that I don't want to do that I have to do that I should do before the stuff that I do want to do. But because I don't want to do the stuff that I don't want to do, I just don't do anything.
Interesting. Well, who says you have to clean your kitchen before you edit the podcast?
I mean, that's just an example.
You're
but,
entitled
like,
to your priorities.
I guess that's true. You know what it is? Because it's like it's like I can't focus on the stuff that I want to do until I do the stuff that I don't want to do, because the stuff that I don't want to do is going to be hanging over my head.
Right.
But then I still don't want to do the stuff that I won't want to do, so I'm just going to play Red Dead Redemption while having an anxiety attack for like 8.5 hours. You know?
Well, that sounds to me like that is the scroll right there to a certain extent, right? I mean, like, ultimately...
a lot of it... it sounds if you actually look at the scroll, a lot of it just says Red Dead Redemption.
Right? Like, well, can't you just throw away the scroll?
I don't know.
Like, burn the scroll. If the scroll is the problem...
Well, because then what am I going to do? Just like sit in the middle of my room and stare vacantly into the middle distance?
You're going to finally put fucking ads on this podcast. That's what you're going to fucking do.
And that is why the ads haven't gone on this podcast.
I know.
Like, that's the exact reason why.
Oh, I want you to understand that is what I've been thinking about this entire time.
And I want to say I almost Googled how to do it this morning. You want to know what I did? I played Crusader Kings for like...
See, I thought you were going to say Red Dead Redemption.
Nah, Red Dead Redemption, because I actually have to like sit down in front of my TV, feels like a time investment.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Crusader Kings, I can kind of like, I can play on my laptop.
Okay. So like you can just like keep that on your chest in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's okay.
And it's this thing where it's like, if I'm on, you know, oh God, you know what's really psychotic? Is that like, sometimes I'll just like, if like someone is like checking in on me to make sure I'm working, like I will, essentially lie. I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm going to be, my plan today is to work on that stuff.
Right.
And then me saying that aloud like releases the same chemicals as me actually doing it,
right,
which makes it easier for me to play Crusader Kings all day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, if I feel like I could be working right now, I can almost like trick my brain into thinking that I am.
Right.
And then I don't have to.
Well, they say I've heard it said that there's like studies that show that is actually like a scientific fact what you just said.
Yeah,
That
no,
that
I've
is
heard it said that
what
like
happens.
that talking about completing a project releases the same chemicals as actually working on it.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the human brain does not know the difference between what's happening and what will happen.
Yeah.
Or could happen.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's like your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination, and it's just up to you to tell
It's
it.
just kind of like
But
to
like
tell it, yeah.
doesn't always listen.
Right.
Yeah. So, jeez, this fucking monitor just keeps shutting off on me.
Yeah, it does.
It's still rolling. Don't get me wrong. Don't worry about it. I'm in a tough spot
Okay.
because I have to pee,
All right.
and normally normally having to pee can put a little pep in my step, but I'm de-pepping my step.
Yeah, right. Because you're in therapist mode right now.
I'm trying to be,
Yeah.
but I think that my need to pee is interrupting my capacity to properly pay attention to what you're saying and really get into the meat and potatoes of the problems that we're trying to address today.
Okay. Well, you want to take a quick pee break and then we can finish fixing me?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a pee break, and then we'll figure out what's causing your brain to be broken.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
cool. So after this break that we just took, I wanted to like kind of shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're missing something when trying to get to the heart of whatever it is that's really getting you.
Yeah.
Because I think that at the core of what we're talking about here is a sense of isolation.
Okay.
And what is isolation except for a feeling a lack of connection, right?
All right.
And
yeah.
so I want to kind of explore like the connections that you have or have
Right.
had, and so I guess my first question that I think and I think this reflects what many people would consider their most intimate and important connections.
Okay.
Is what are your thoughts about how do I put this? How do you find how do you find your relationships with women
Okay.
tend to go?
Well, this is
How do
interesting.
you-
It's an interesting question. Will.
Yeah.
I feel like I've made this joke on the podcast before, but I like to be, I like to give them as little information as possible about my sex life so that they think that it's mysterious as opposed to functionally non-existent.
Right.
Like, yeah, I've just, yeah. Well, yeah, it's a weird kind of conclusion to come to just now in this moment, but I think I've given up on ever fucking again. Where it's like, I feel like I knew that in my heart, but I just confirmed it in my mind now. Like, I don't think I'm ever fucking again.
No?
I don't know. Look, if I am, they're going to have to do the work. It's just like, I mean, look at how I'm dressed.
Listen, you're here. Unless you're trying to seduce me, that's a perfectly good outfit.
Right, but I don't wear other stuff in
Right.
other contexts.
Right.
It's just this.
Well,
I don't have a mattress. I don't have a bed frame.
Yes, you do.
Right,
just in pieces
I
on your
have one,
floor.
but I'm willfully not putting it together.
It still hasn't been assembled.
No. No, because I don't know how to do it. My dad does. He was gonna put my bed together on the day that we moved in, but we lost like the screws and stuff and like the pile of shit.
Okay.
And so like at some point I have to like FaceTime my dad and have him walk me through it. And that in order to do that I would have to clear out the piles and piles of garbage that have accumulated in my room over the past 2 months. Which is the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's and he also there's the other thing standing in the way is the piles and piles of garbage. I'm just like which again, I don't think those piles of garbage would exist if I ever expected to fuck again.
Right. But the thought that keeps popping into my mind, and this is not something a therapist would ever say to a patient,
Right.
is that, I'd also given up on you doing that.
Good for you.
I don't mean like, look, it was never any of my business.
Right.
But
you just, like, you.
what I mean by that is that, like, you notice how I never ask you, like, you know.
Yeah.
I never
Just,
ask
like,
you, like, so what's going on? You seen anybody new these days? It's because I know the answer's no.
Exactly, because you have asked me that before, and the answer is always the same.
The answer
which is
has
just
been
like,
the answer has been an almost what's the an almost what's the fucking word I'm looking for? An almost indignant no.
Right.
It's
it's been a little bit for
Yeah.
old Chris.
How long has it been?
I don't care to think about it.
Okay.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I could probably ballpark a number, but I think that I don't think they need to know.
Right.
I think I can tell them that it's been a long time, and they can just kind of build their own idea based on their mental image of me, how long they think it's been.
So, but okay, so why do you feel like? I mean, it sounds like you're saying you feel it's a lost cause.
Right.
Why?
I'm trying to. Why have I given up? I think part of it is internalized fat phobia.
Okay.
I think that's part of it. I think another part of it is just like, I don't know. Like I'm really bad at like making the first move.
Mm.
And I think the other thing is that, like, I have no social life, and I don't see myself getting one. So it's like, where would I even meet this woman? Like, you know, I feel like the sad thing is that, like, you would have to introduce her to me, and that sucks. Like, that's like, it's like, I hate to put this on you, but I think if I'm ever gonna fuck again, you're gonna have to drag me kicking and screaming into it. Like I think, like,
you got the wrong guy in your corner.
Exactly. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that, like, if that was what would have to happen,
Right.
is that, like, someone close to me would have to be like, we're doing like fucking romantic comedy from the early 2000s shit.
Right.
Like we're gonna like fucking My Fair Lady Chris and like and turn him into an eligible bachelor.
Yeah, no, you're asking one of the demons from that Twilight Zone episode to be your wingman. Unfortunately, I also, don't get out much, and when I do, I'm kind of a nervous wreck most of the time. At least when it comes to pretty girls.
Yeah, but like you're also like tall and thin enough and good at piano, which is like it sometimes frustrates me how little you seem to appreciate that. Like the fucking gift that you have.
Listen,
yeah,
I know that I'm amazing and have a and charming and have a huge penis.
Right. We've talked. We don't have to go into that. We've talked about.
You
it.
sure?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind talking about it some more.
Just talk about your fat dog.
Look,
songs a little bit.
No, it's well, to be honest, that only means so much if we're actually addressing it honestly. I think that what you're saying you see in my advantage in that arena,
right,
goes back to the first point you made about why you've given up on ever fucking again, and that is the internalized fat phobia.
That's part of it, yeah.
You know, I think that you see a man who's slimmer than you and you assume he has a better shot than you because of internalized fat phobia.
Yeah, I think it's like, well, part of it is like I imagine myself, I picture myself fucking and I'm like, ugh. It's like, ugh. Gross.
But like, I mean, do you think that if I picture myself fucking, I don't get turned off?
Yeah, I guess that's probably everybody.
Yeah, I would say that, like, you know, I have to close my eyes, you know? I have to turn off the lights,
like, right.
close my eyes, blindfold me, you know, ask my partner to call me, like, Steve, because nothing is a bigger turnoff than being attracted to Will Wood, you know?
Yeah, I get that I get.
But I can't help but think to myself, is that something that's really there? Or is that something that you're perceiving as a result of clearly your very low self-esteem?
Right. I don't know. You know what? I think part of it is also that, like I said, it's been a little bit. Like I feel I might have forgotten how to do it. Like there's like that's the other thing that makes me nervous is that like it's been like a while. And so like I know I'm gonna like underperform. Like there's just like look, we're in therapy right now. No one's ever gonna hear this.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I'm still even okay at sex. Like it's like there's just no way. Like it's been a while.
Chris,
Like
sex isn't a sport.
I feel like it kind of is a little bit.
It's not. It's not. You know, look, some people will find a certain level of athleticism arousing, but there's no contest.
Oh, that's the other part of it. Is that like again, I'm like I wasn't in great shape the last time I fucked, and I'm in even worse shape now. So just like how long, like until. You know, I'm like worried about how long it's gonna last, but like not because I'm worried that I'm gonna come early. You know what I mean?
Because you're gonna get tired.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have a heart attack and kill a woman by smothering her with my enormous body. like that's. It's like, dude, like, will I last more than 3 minutes before I'm just, just like. This.
Okay, well, but that seems once again to be coming back to internalized fat phobia there.
Well, no, that's me observing how my body reacts when I walk up a flight of stairs. Like that's not fat phobia. That is like empirically attained evidence. Like that's,
okay, well, all right, that's all right. That's all fine and dandy. But that still doesn't take away from my point, and that is that sex isn't a sport. Sex isn't a contest. When you're with somebody who appreciates you and who you appreciate, and between the two of you there's mutual respect and affection and admiration, it's just about two people having fun. There's no
here's
ultimately
the thing. You're right.
There's a male desire to impress.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not about impressing people. It's about intimacy. It's about sharing something that connects one person to another.
I mean, you're right, but also like my brain is broken. Like I get this is we're actually like getting into like the do I say this?
We're just listen. Worst case scenario, we cut it.
It's like look, we're in everyone listening to this has to remember that this is a therapy session,
right?
And that you shouldn't be listening to this right now.
Yeah, and also
it's like this isn't for you.
It's kind of fucked up that they're listening. I'm pretty sure that breaks a HIPAA law.
Yeah, I think I could sue you. But yeah, no, it's like it sucks because like one of my big turn-ons is like an impressed woman,
right?
Which sucks for me. You know what I mean? like it's. You know, I like that's like there's like this weird part of my brain that's like I want to be like I want this dick to be the best dick you've ever had in your whole life, and that I'll never know what that's like. Like it absolutely never has been and it never will be, but there's this weird toxic part of my brain that's like, yeah, like if someone else has fucked you better than me, then it's not worth it. Like like that's so, and I know that that's bad. Like that's such a fucking poisonous mindset.
Is it toxic? Like do you think there's like a masculinity thing in there?
I think probably, yeah. I think it's like this like weird sort of again it probably comes back to like this like fat phobia and like feeling inadequate and like feeling that like I have to prove something. Right. You know?
What do you mean by you have to prove something?
I don't know. That's interesting. I'm not really sure. God, this is getting so weird and ugly. I love it. Like it's like this is so like we're just like I feel so exposed.
Like, listen, we can always walk it back.
I know.
We don't have to publish it, but I find this very interesting. Like I'm learning about you right now. I feel closer to you in reality and not just as like a podcasting partner. So
what was I just saying? What were we talking about? And I don't want to call it like competitiveness because I'm not like a super competitive guy. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I just like I want to be patted on the head and given like a gold ribbon and be told that like I want someone to like hang a little ribbon on my cock that says number one like best in state. You know what I mean? like. I just want to be somebody's prize hog.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be a good therapist. I'm blanking on things to ask.
All right, so what have we covered so far?
Well,
let's see. I never do anything.
right.
I'm fat
It
and I smell like
sounds-
shit. I'm
it's-
not ever gonna fuck again.
It sounds like this.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like this proving yourself thing has some weight. It
Okay.
sounds to me like they're that the thing that is stopping you from doing the things that you need to do is an unbelievably high standard you've set for yourself.
I think that there's probably something there. Yeah.
That you feel you have something to make up for.
Well, yeah, I think that's, and I want to say that I think that's why if you're a parent, don't ever tell your kid that they're special. Don't tell the worst thing you can do is call your child a genius, because they can only go down from there.
That's true.
It's like, where the fuck, if you grow up having people tell you that you're smart and special and that they expect great things from you, if you do anything less than great things, which is more than can be reasonably expected of most people, then you have failed. So like, yeah, like I'm like, I think like I've talked about this on the podcast before, but like, I grew up in being in both remedial and gifted classes,
Right.
which is very confusing. So it's weird. I don't have super high expectations for myself, or I don't know. Maybe I kind of do. Actually, I guess I kind of do.
Yeah, who else has those expectations?
Yeah, well, because basically my plan for life is either like, either succeed at the thing that I'm doing, or I guess like starve.
Right.
Like I don't, I'm trying to be a podcaster and I don't really have a backup plan. And the podcast is going fine. Like, it's like going okay.
Uh-huh.
So like, yeah, that's interesting. I think you're probably right about that.
Well, I mean, I would argue that simply by virtue of there being any listeners at all, the podcast is going exceptionally.
That's
the vast
true.
majority
That's
of
something.
podcasts don't get anybody listening to
That's
them.
true. I do think we're in like the top 80% of podcasts, which is fucking wild.
Yeah.
And I think the difference between like the top 80% and the top 90% is like astronomical. But
I would
like,
assume so. Yeah.
yeah, it's like we get like 2,000 to 3,000 listens per episode, and then like the top 90% gets like millions. So
Yeah.
and one of these days we're gonna make that jump.
I'm sure.
And then I'll kill myself because millions of people will hear this conversation.
So, I mean, what do you think would be? That's the thing. That's the thing that I think we're running up against. Is that you have standards of excellence and success that you hold yourself to,
Mm-hmm.
that apparently you're terrified to see come to fruition.
Interesting. I think maybe, but I don't think that's what's keeping me from doing it.
No?
Yeah, I think that like I think because ultimately like a lot of the stuff that I'm scared of with like becoming successful, A, I think I can handle it, and B, I also think maybe some of that fear is like a coping mechanism. Where it's like, oh, okay. Where it's like, I don't even want to be successful. You know what I mean?
So you think it's the other way around?
I don't know. I think that's true. Like, I've talked about like how like if this podcast ever got to a point where like I say something offhand and someone writes an article about it, that would be hell. And I mean
Mm-hmm.
that would suck.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that successful, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's a fear of success that's keeping me from doing stuff. That doesn't quite, and I can't really articulate why, but that doesn't quite feel like it's on the mark. Like, I think it's, I don't know. Like, this feels self-deprecating, but I feel like it is just like laziness, but like on like a clinical scale. It's like, like whatever part of your brain makes you not want to do stuff is like inflamed or something. Like, there's like, I don't know. Like, I have a neurological disorder that makes me not do my homework. which is I've actually no, that's just called ADD. Like
I
that's
was
I
kinda
just
thinking,
described
like-
what ADD is, and I
Yeah.
have been diagnosed with that. So maybe maybe I just need Ritalin. Like I think like if I just had like an Adderall subscription, I'd be fine.
I like how you look. You said subscription by accident,
Yeah, I
but
did. But
it's
yeah.
a more accurate word.
like-
I think, look, you know, I'm only a therapist, not a psychiatrist.
Right.
So I'm not qualified to make this call. But personally, based on everything you've told me, you would do better with a stimulating antidepressant rather than a neurostimulant.
I think I probably would. Yeah.
I think that if I were your doctor, which I am, but I'm
Which
not.
you are.
If I were your doctor, which I am, I would prescribe you Wellbutrin, which I
Okay.
will.
Okay.
So
I mean, and when I back at Bennington, I was on Prozac for a little bit. And
Prozac isn't going to be stimulating.
I don't know. Prozac worked pretty well for me when
Yeah.
I took it. It did make me less depressed.
Mhm.
But then at a certain point, I was like, well, I miss marijuana, and I'm not depressed anymore.
Right.
So like, I'm gonna stop taking this so I can smoke weed again.
Right.
And I did. And hey, guess what? Turns out there was a reason I was less depressed, and it was
Right.
because I was on Prozac.
Right.
You know. Yeah, I stopped taking Prozac and I stopped taking Prozac, and then I went on Lexapro, and I stopped taking Lexapro at basically almost at the exact same moment that I dropped out of college, which was like a weird, you know, it's like and I stopped taking it because I stopped feeling depressed, which is like, you know,
It's like the classic.
well, yeah, it's like going to an eye doctor because you can't see good, and then they hand you a pair of glasses, and you put the glasses on, and you're like, I'm cured, and then you throw the glasses away and start operating heavy machinery. Like, that's basically what I did. Like,
So what's stopping you from getting psychiatric help?
renewing my health insurance, which is also on that huge list.
That's on the
Like,
scroll.
Yeah, like my health insurance ran out a little bit ago, and I
Okay.
still have not gotten around to renewing it.
And you're confident that unrealistic high standards you've set for yourself has nothing to do with this?
No. No, I don't know anything.
Okay.
I don't know what the
You're
fuck
not
is wrong with me. That's why we're doing this.
Okay, all right. well, then
I don't
humor
know.
this. Humor this
Yeah.
for a second. Consider the possibility that's because you have too high standards for yourself,
Okay.
and that those high standards are interfering with everything. Your high standards are demanding that you be the best fuck out of anybody on the planet.
Right.
It's demanding
Well,
that
it's
you
not
succeed
demanding.
to a
It's-
point.
I want to be clear. It's not demanding that I be the best fuck out of anyone on the planet, because like that would be an insane thing for me to ask of myself.
Sure.
You know, it's more just like, it's more that I fuck, and there's this weird little voice in my head going like, you're fucking, you're not good at that. I don't know. You know what I
Well,
mean?
doesn't
Where
that
it's
still
like,
come back down to you having high, like?
well, yeah,
high
yeah. I
expectations
just
for
like
yourself?
it's a small distinction, but like I wanted to, you know.
I would say it's so small as to be almost negligible.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
It's just like there's something about like, you know, it's not like I'm like it's not like I'm fucking like Brett Favre, like, you know, like I was once the greatest, but now I'm past my prime, and I'm just like walking into the locker room afterwards just like, oh god, like I'm just the glory days are over. No, it's just like I'm playing like fucking like beer league touch football, and I'm not even good at it, but I'm still getting pissed that I'm not winning. like that's what it is. Like,
well, I mean, like, regardless as to whether or not it applies to you know, romantic stuff,
yeah.
it seems like a lot of the you know, issues that you're running up against seem like they could be tied back to expecting more of yourself than is fair to ask of yourself. And if you're constantly demanding of yourself to be what one would imagine you were told you must be
Right.
growing up, you know, I mean, I'm seeing a very clear picture of the potential source of these dysfunctions here. I can see the lines that can be drawn between the disparate elements of your various childhood traumas that come together to create this picture. I mean, the reason perhaps you're not addressing those items on the scroll is because that's a very long scroll. But in reality, the scroll isn't that long.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it is.
And that's why you still haven't put ads on our podcast.
I think that's actually why we're doing this. Is to like get to the bottom of why this fucking podcast still doesn't have ads. I almost looked it up. Today, and then I didn't. Because I promised you I would. And I started to, and I just kind of didn't.
Listen, it's Wednesday. This
is
drops
Wednesday.
Saturday night. You still got a couple more days.
That's true. I can still
know?
pull it out.
Yeah, you could still do it. And you know, I have to say, I would consider you my prize hog if you did.
Aw.
I'd come really hard.
No, I think I
I'd
might
come the
do it.
hardest I ever had. It would be this is weird. I don't like.
How long have we been going? How close am I to being cured?
We've been going for 88 minutes and 43 seconds.
Okay, so pretty good.
We've been recording for a little under an hour and a half. Normally, that's how we about how long we record for. Usually a little bit longer, but around that same time, usually like 95, 100 minutes.
All right. Well, how much are you charging me per hour?
You know what? The first one's always free for me. Anyway.
Is that a real thing that they do?
No.
It can't be.
No, it's something drug dealers do.
Yeah, no, I know. But
Yeah, no.
See, that's an interesting little insight into my personal views about therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you said that, and I was like, yeah, I bet they do. Those fucks. It's like, I don't know why I feel that way.
Well, so that brings us back to, I think, the title of this sleeper pilot.
Sleeper pilot, yeah.
Chris Dunne won't get therapy. You're skeptical of therapy.
I am, and I know that I shouldn't be. It's just that, like, I don't. Is it that I've kind of like been in and out of it for my entire life, and I've never like walked out of a therapy session being like, oh, I feel like that helped.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's just never. I don't know. Like I don't feel like I get a ton out of it. Like, I mean, yeah, like I'm like externalizing this stuff, and like even now, like I'm externalizing this stuff, but it doesn't. Something about the way that my brain works, it doesn't feel super different than just like talking to myself alone in my room.
Interesting.
You know, just like muttering stuff under my breath.
Well, look, I think part of the reason why this doesn't feel any different from that is that
because it's not real therapy.
I'm not a therapist.
Obviously, yeah.
But a good therapist should make you feel differently than if you're alone.
Yeah, I guess it's like, but like I don't know. What if? But like, what you know? Like, what if they think I'm? What if they're like, ew, gross? You know? You know? What if I tell them I haven't fucked in a while and they're like, you fucking loser? Like, you fucking. Like, you know what I mean? That's like the insane thing about therapy to me. It's just like, oh, so like, what's your problem? Like, you're shy. You have a hard time opening up to strangers. How about you pay a fucking stranger fucking $200 at least a week to just know all of your secrets? Like, what if? How would you like to pay me to say shit that you wouldn't say to fucking anyone and just kind of trust that I'm gonna be cool about it? And I know that it would be like illegal for them to not be cool about it, but it still feels insane. And I know I'm wrong.
I was going to say, you know, not only are they not allowed to violate that trust, they're also kind of not allowed to judge you.
Okay. It's like, yeah, they're not allowed to externally.
Okay,
like,
listen.
But they're fucking, you know, they have like fucking hot blood running through their veins.
Yes,
you know?
that's all well and good. But but you never know.
Uh-huh.
A good therapist will never communicate anything other than positive affection.
Well, that also makes me nervous, right?
Why is that?
Well, because like, I don't know. What if I need to be told I'm being a fucking idiot?
Well, a good therapist will find a nice way to say that.
Yeah, you'd hope. That's the thing. It's like, you know,
I mean, from personal experience.
Look,
my therapist calls me a fucking idiot all the time, but she does it with a smile, and I feel okay about it.
That's great. I don't really know what the reason is, other than just like, honestly, just like generally not liking to deal with strangers. Because that's honestly probably the real reason. It's just like the idea of like having to have like a deep conversation with someone I don't know well is like the most unpleasant thing I could possibly imagine doing.
It's interesting. That's interesting. I feel like a lot of people feel the opposite. That when they're speaking to a total stranger whose role in their life can be purely compartmentalized to just this moment or this role where I say whatever, really is more liberating than speaking to somebody you trust intimately.
For me, it's I'm one of those people who, like, the better I know you, the less I give a shit about what you think of me. Like, if you look at me and see a fat, gross piece of shit, I'm like, yeah, fucking, like, joke's on you, motherfucker. I'm your best friend. What's that say about you, bitch? Like, I don't care at all. But, like, just like some random stranger on the street looking at me and being like, look at that fat guy. Like, that sucks. Like, that I hate. And I don't know. Like, it's
why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's like I don't know. I think I'm just like, I think maybe first impressions make me nervous. That, like, I mean, maybe it just, like, goes back to that thing I was talking about before of just, like, of kind of immediately having to prove yourself, about, like, kind of putting yourself out there and immediately being rejected for it. Maybe there's, like, kind of like a reflexive fear there a little. I don't know.
Well, a therapist definitely isn't allowed to reject you.
I know. Well, they're not allowed to, you know?
Right.
That's the thing, is that these people are people. And a lot of people are, like, either, like, idiots or evil. Like, you know? Kind of a lot of them.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I went to college. I met a lot of psychiatry majors. A lot of them were either idiots or evil.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. And again, I'm wrong. Like, I can't stress that enough. I'm wrong. If you are, and that should be like, if we ever do more episodes of Chris Dunne Won't Go to Therapy, like, the byline of it should be like, this is satire. If you feel bad, go to therapy.
Right.
Like,
right.
We are in support of that in general.
Yeah,
the reason we're doing this podcast is because I personally am broken in a very specific way.
My
like,
big
this
concern,
is the best I can do.
My big concern about doing more of Chris Dunne Won't Go to Therapy is
is
that you won't go to therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
I will use this as an excuse. Because, well, if I start going to therapy, what's the point? Like, I'm fucking getting not all that good material from someone who is paid never to tell anyone about it. And that's I'm leaving fucking cash on the table.
Well, I have to say, this is all stuff you're willing to say. This is all stuff that you're willing to say on microphone. You would probably get so much out of telling somebody all the shit you're not willing to say.
What am I not willing to say on microphone, though?
Oh, that'll be the fun part. Is
What
you get to learn
what are my
that.
secrets? I guess there's stuff. I should think about it, but yeah, I guess there is stuff about me I don't want them knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
would be so funny if I just threw one of them out there right now, but I'm not going to.
I'm racist.
Yeah.
Okay, so Christopher, what brings you here today? What's bothering you? I'm racist.
I love that because but you still went to therapy about it, which is very interesting.
Oh God, forgive my millennial sense of humor. Why are you fucking stressed out, Chris?
It's like, because I'm 30 years old. I still feel 15, and I don't understand the world I'm living in anymore.
Feels like it left you behind prematurely.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit, yeah. I mean, that's probably pretty common for someone who turns 30. But like, again, like, and maybe this is just a millennial thing. But like, I don't feel 30. Like, I feel like a boy.
Right.
I feel like a little boy. But I'm not a little boy. Is the thing, Will? I'm a man, but I'm not a man. But I am, but I'm not, and I'm tired.
Do you think that it would do you some good to reconnect with your inner little boy?
Oh, by what? By playing Red Dead Redemption all day?
Like, you know what? Never mind.
Like,
I take that back.
I think the problem is that I think I need
Chris
to grow up.
Needs to not get in touch with his inner child.
I think we need to separate me from my inner child because he's a bad influence.
Yep, that is not the direction your therapy goes in. We need to get you in touch with your inner responsible adult.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's in there, but he's fucking hasn't been promoted in years. Like
Right.
he's like fucking, no one will fucking listen to the guy.
I'm picturing you in a suit with a briefcase, and it's very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
It would be like that weird time that a major cable network created a sitcom based on a Geico commercial.
Oh fuck, they did that, didn't?
Yeah.
Wow, they did. I totally forgot. Nick Kroll was in that.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was one of the cavemen.
Wow, he disappeared into that role.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy
Yep.
to do. Did all the fucking
When you're
heavy
Nick
makeup.
Kroll, yeah. It's very easy when you're Nick Kroll. I'm sorry, Nick Kroll. I don't know you. I don't know you at all. I'm sorry. I'm not even that familiar with your work. I'm just being an asshole.
You know what's weird is that like I generally speaking like Nick Kroll.
Uh-huh.
I like the stuff he's in. I think he's generally funny. But there's something about him that every time I'm like, I like Nick Kroll, there's this voice in my head that was like, was he canceled? Like, like,
anyway, I think that I don't know whether or not you're fixed.
right.
But I do feel like we've made some progress.
I do. I feel like. Yeah, it's like is our hour up yet? Do I have to pay you another $200 if I want to continue this?
Usually when I have a new patient, I like to take a little extra time with our first appointment.
Okay.
So we went over our normal allotted time. Future appointments are going to be 55 minutes, and and once I get this office better up and running, there'll be a clock right behind your head that I can constantly be consulting.
Right, yeah.
But you won't be able to see.
Yeah.
It's a strategic thing that most therapists do.
Yeah, I guess they do, don't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. they do not.
Yeah,
Actually, no. My
it's
therapist.
almost like they don't give a fuck about you. Okay, no, though they do. They totally
Dare
do.
you say that about my therapist? She cares deeply for me. She lets me see the clock. But future appointments, yeah, they're gonna run a little shorter.
Okay.
But
All
but
right.
that does conclude our time today.
Do you take NJ Family Care?
No.
Fuck.
I take cash. I'm a cash only therapist.
Right. Right. You take cash or like just like
Favors.
like items of equal or lesser value. You would also accept the title to my car.
That watch you're wearing looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
I might take that watch off your hands.
I don't know. You just get your brain working so good again. Might have to part with that Rolex.
If you're looking to, if you ever want to fuck again, give me your watch.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening
to Chris Dunne Won't Go to Therapy. We'll do the regular podcast again next week. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun to do. We
We'll
might do that again someday.
We'll see whether or not the audience agrees. And if you have questions for us to answer about the apocalypse, or for maybe Chris to answer about his life, would that? Oh, no, we can't do that. Never mind. Do not ask questions about Chris and his life. That would be an ill-advised thing. I can see a look on your face that. Actually, no, that's boredom. Okay, that's itchy ass. That's what it is. Okay. I see itchy ass.
I thought I farted. I was like, did I poop myself?
Oh, I hate
and I
those.
didn't.
That's
So
the
let's
worst.
do wrap this up though, so that I could poop.
Okay.
know?
Yeah, ask us
'Cause
questions
it-
about
it-
the
it
apocalypse.
turtled a little bit, but then it went
lifeintheworldtocome
back
at
down.
gmail.com or on the Discord server. And our intro and outro music is We Are the Hell House by the Taxpayers. And if you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/lifeintheworldtocome or lifeintheworldtocome.bigcartel.com for merchandise. It's been a pleasure and an honor and a real rip snorting good time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.